professional, as a mom, as a wife, as whatever, you have encountered, or you must have encountered, cases where you are wondering, this is not right, or this is not normal, or this is just beyond me. So maybe you went somewhere, all you planned, to get in that place is, let's say, $100. And now you're having a conversation, and then you left that place, you just sealed a deal of $10,000. It didn't even cross your mind when you were going there. So you're wondering, where's that coming from? Right? There are other supernatural experiences that people have had, that you didn't prepare for. Let's give an example. So let's say you're traveling, and then you're involved in a ghastly accident, and then you find yourself out of that accident. Nothing happened to you, but there are people in that same car with you that got hurt, and you're wondering, how was I able to come out of this? Maybe you once had a dream, and Africans, we have all kinds of dreams, and somebody seemed to be chasing you in your dream, and then you woke up and like, that's another world, right? This appeared so real to you, and it even got you frightened when you woke up. Now, that's to establish that beyond what our senses can decode, there are other things that exist. And that brings us to who we really are. We are spirit beings. Are we together? Right? And so the Bible is a book that helps us understand our real self. All of the stories that you read in the Bible, like he was mentioning, they are deeper than whatever you think is there. While we were praying, she used an example, Mark 8, and I want to use that, to pivot and get into the next one. I'm going to say tonight. Said Mark 8, Jesus found the man. In fact, Jesus didn't find him. Jesus was just doing his own thing. Some people brought him and they said, Oga, this man is blind. Can you help us touch him? Because, we've heard about you, we've seen you do miracles. Touch this guy. He could have just touched him, and the guy would have, found his sight. But he said, you know what? Come. He dragged the man out of that village. Are we together? Then he spat on the floor. He touched his eyes. He says, can you see now? The guy said, I saw men like trees. Which, like he mentioned, that showed us that this man was not blind from birth. He has seen trees before. He has seen men before. Right? Now, Jesus had to touch him the second time. This time around, he got his healing perfectly. Jesus then warned him, don't go back to that place where you lost your sight. And I want to quickly emphasize something tonight about, it may not be a geographical place. Sometimes it's a mindset. It's something you just believe that just make you to lose your vision. That many of us, we have dreams when we're young, things we wanted to achieve, things we wanted to be. But because we started listening to the wrong people, we got ourselves into a mental state that began to make our vision to be blurry. And after a while, you don't even see anything again. Somebody that you should know is even asking you about that thing. And you're wondering, what are they talking about? Why? Because you lost that vision, because you got yourself, into a different place. Now, for somebody who is reading the Bible as a newspaper, they may not be able to get that revelation, and they may not be able to understand the deeper things beneath the surface of the fact that Jesus just took somebody. Are we together? Right. So he warned him, don't go back there. Because if you go back there, you'll be blind again. The things that they're saying in that place, the things you are listening to is robbing you of your vision. And vision is very powerful. In fact, every prosperity is predicated on vision. It's as far as you can see. It's what, this is the way I like to say it, something that doesn't let you sleep. Do you understand? That wakes you up every morning and you just go after it. Okay, now let's go back to Google versus Bible. Now, go to the next slide. Let's begin to look at what the Bible. Okay, so in 2007, the Time magazine said something about the Bible. They said the Bible has done more to shape literature, history, entertainment, and culture than any other book ever written. Its influence on world history is unparalleled and shows no signs of abating. Of course, the Bible is the best-selling book of all time. It sells about 100 million copies annually, maybe even more. Right. Go to the next slide. Great. But really, what's the intent of the Bible? Why do we have the Bible? When I'm offering coaching services to people, I usually like to create an illustration. I say that, imagine the world has no civilization and we're all living in the bush, right? You know, you meet some people who have been here before you, right? And so you ask them a question that, oh, you see that forest behind that mountain? If I want to go there, you know, have you gone there before? And then they will tell you, oh, we've gone there before. There are 7 rivers, right? The first river is Ot. The last river, you know, they will give you instructions. They will give you their own experience. And so you will take that. After a while, that generation may go, they will die. Other people will be gone who would also ask you, so wait a minute, tell us, you've been here. What are the things that you now know about this place? You would also give them the same information that they've given you. Now, the Bible got written like that for some part of the Bible. It's an account of people's experiences when they encountered God, you know, and they began to have supernatural experiences. And so they began to write these things down. Sometimes they didn't even start by writing it down. They told their children, who also told their children, and after a while they started codifying it. But you see, not all of the Bible is written as accounts. Some of it is written actually as real history that happened. Are we together? History of kings that even other historical books can attest to. That, you know, this happened, like the time of Nehemiah, you know, the story of Esther, about, you know, Esther was married to a guy that wrote from India all the way to Ethiopia. Have you read that story? Right, yeah. The guy was ruling over 129 provinces, you know, and Esther was married to him, you know, after the first wife, Vashti, misbehaved. So, some are actual history. Is one of your names Vashti? It's one of your names, because I saw the way you just looked at each other, right? You know? Yeah, but you know, people misbehave, right? Okay? So, some are history, and then some are poetry, some are prayers. But you see, while we were talking about the Bible the other time, some are prophecies. What are prophecies? It's foretelling. To say things that will happen before they happen. Many of the things that we are experiencing in our generation now have been foretold in the Bible. In fact, you'll be shocked at the exactness of some of these prophecies. You know, some of the things that we are thinking, oh, what's happening in this our world? When you encounter what has been foretold in the Bible, you will almost like, really? Are we together? So, the Bible is a collection of all those things. And over time, people have removed, you know, from the Bible, added to it, all kinds of things have happened to the Bible. Because, you know, human nature, people want to control other people by virtue of information or by brute force, or sometimes manipulate people because they have money. So there was a time in history where people who are royals wanted to control other people, and so they kept some of this information, you know, from people. So they will be the ones who interpret, you know, whatever is in sacred books like the Bible to people. But there was a king called King James. You all know King James, right? Of course, one of the Bible translations is called the King James Version, arguably the most popular version. So King James is an English king, you know, who at some point, you know, when Christ died, Peter became, you know, bishop and all of that, everything moved to Rome. I'm going to come to that in a moment. Everything moved to Rome. The Romans were the ones in charge. Just like America is like the world power right now. It's going to move to China very soon. Maybe one day to Nigeria. And also it's going to move to India too. Yeah, I think I know this, you know, from research. I mean, Google is owned by Indians. You know, so I mean, so right. So everything moved to Rome at some point. And so they wanted to keep it close to their chest, but war broke out in Europe, you know, people, all kinds of things that happened. So this king said, you know what, we need to make this open to everybody. The more information there is in society, the more people can make informed decisions. We can't be the one telling everybody, go like this, go like this. And so they liberated people, and that was also about the time that the printing press was invented. So they were able to publish a lot of books, so people had it in their homes. Guess what happened? As people began to encounter the Bible individually, as families, in unit, then light, when I say light, people started having inspirations. You know, people started inventing things. People started, you know, getting results. And they're like, what's happening here? And, you know, they started studying, okay, how come this person that before now we just let them, everybody go and farm? Just go and farm. And then this one invented the cart that you can put behind the horse. And so that increased productivity. This one invented this one. And then they started wondering what led to this. And they found out that it's because people were encountering knowledge from the Bible. Are we together? And so over time, different experiences are shaping the fact that when people read the Bible, their lives are transformed. So belief system started getting glued to what people are reading in the Bible. And people started getting a result when they follow the things that are in the Bible. When I say people, I can even use myself as an example. There are things that I have read in the Bible that was not taught to me by anybody, that I've applied in my life and I found results. And I don't know whether I have witnesses in the house. So this one is not like, we're holding brief for any pastor, because you will even be shocked. Some of the people who are pastors don't know the Bible as much as some of the people that they're preaching to. Are we together? So that's the Bible. Google will establish that it's just an index, where you can write keyword and then you can get information. Guess what? You can get information about the Bible on Google. You can read the Bible on Google. In fact, so that we can talk as intelligent 21st century Christians, we are not using this forum to bash Google. We are just identifying it for what it is, what it can provide you. By the time you are looking for real answers, Google shouldn't be the first point of contact. Are we together? Because Google was not created to help you live in this world. Bible, however, like I've explained, is different accounts, prophecies that are put together to help you have a good life. Are we together? Now let's go a little deeper. This is from scripture. I think this is in 2 Timothy chapter 3. Okay, this lady is the pastor. Let's give her a hand applause. Right. I am not one of those people that, quotes the Bible and tell you the verse, the chapter. But I can say that I know a bit about the Bible. Alright? And I'm also not a teacher of the Bible. In fact, nobody can teach the Bible. It's almost like an oxymoron. Everybody is a student of the Bible. You can facilitate learning. That's why there's a portion of scripture that talks about study to show yourself approved unto God. The examiner really, the audience really, of how we live our life at the end of the day. Who we're going to give accounts to is our Creator. Right? So it's not about, say, I've mastered the Bible, I have PhD in theology. In fact, let me tell you a story. So there was a man that died.